They're cancelling the super famous chef South Bay again, and this time he's being accused of fraud. Just look at this. Be careful if you go to this chef's restaurant. Wow, it turns out that a Mexican influencer went to eat at one of this guy's restaurants and ended up paying a bill of 40,000 Mexican pesos. Well, 36,000 pesos, which is the equivalent of $2,000. Yes, $2,000. That's totally crazy. Pay attention.
This chef just totally got me, and here's how they fooled me. Well, as you can see and you saw in the video, they just pulled one over on me.
So basically they scammed him.
And you know, I'm not really into drama. Honestly, that's not my philosophy in life, and I don't like that kind of crap. But today I want to tell you about what happened to me. To save you time, I'll tell you directly so this doesn't happen to you. I'm staying here in Mexico City in a hotel that has a restaurant downstairs run by a really famous chef. You probably know him. He's the guy who does that thing with the salt. You know, the one from the memes?
Well, let me explain so you get the idea. It turns out this chef, for those who don't know, his career is in total decline. He's really going downhill. The guy had a bunch of restaurants all over the world. He had to close many of them because people just stopped going. And look, guys, ever since what happened with Argentina in the 2022 World Cup, this guy completely fell apart. But here's the thing. Many people think this was the start of his downfall, but it wasn't. This was just the culmination, and I think this guy's downfall started here when, in the middle of a brutal famine and a tremendous economic crisis in Venezuela, this guy welcomed Nicolas Maduro. No, and he treated him like a king. It was a scandal. I remember that even Venezuelans protested outside his restaurant in Miami. Just imagine now, in honor of the truth. I have to say that most likely this guy had no idea what Nicolas Maduro was doing. Because look, many of the things that happen in the West and in Latin America, which are very common for us because they're part of our region, let's say for many of these people on the other side of the world, these are very unfamiliar topics. That's the harsh reality. So, most likely that's what happened to him. But even so, he still hosted Nicolas Maduro. He hosted a delinquent, a criminal, a guy who is now going crazy in prison in the United States. And look, I mean, it was outrageous. And since then, this guy has had to close many restaurants. His career is falling apart. But he started a new strategy and began looking for important markets. And he saw Mexico as a good opportunity to keep expanding his business. And he opened a restaurant in Mexico City. And that's how we got to this point.
The restaurant is called Nusr-Et. I had just finished my chicken and rice here in the room. I wasn't hungry anymore, and some buddies called me and said, "Hey, we have a reservation at this restaurant. Do you want to come?" I said, "Sure, that way I can check out the restaurant." I'd get a salmon because I thought I'll get there, order a salmon, and have a suerito. And that's it. I figured I'd spend, I don't know, at most 2,000 pesos. If it's expensive, 2,500 pesos for a salmon.
I mean, he thought he was going to spend about $100, $150 at most.
How much do you think salmon and a suerito will cost? Here's the trick. Like in all restaurants, waiters sometimes have their tricks, but here they really went overboard. That's the truth. The chef notices that people start asking me for photos, right? He comes over to me, greets me, everything's fine. I go back to my table. He comes over to me again, greets me, gives me a hug, and he says to me and to the people at the table, the meat is on me. Let me be the one to bring you the meat. You guys take care of the drinks. And I thought, that's awesome.
And he went crazy and ordered a bunch of things.
He's going to spend 2,000 pesos on me. When the bill comes, I'll leave you a picture of how much it was.
Just look at that, 36,000 Mexican pesos. I mean, it's crazy. And look, obviously the guy in the video has money, right? I mean, he has money, he can pay for it, and he did. The problem is that even so, 36,000 pesos for a dinner, just a random dinner. It's just unbelievable. It's something simply insane for practically anyone.
But with the tip and everything, it ended up being over 40,000 pesos.
Plus the tip. Pay attention to that detail. I mean, more than $2,000 for a dinner.
And let me tell you briefly because look, first of all, I'm someone who doesn't like to spend money on nonsense. Spending 40,000 pesos at a restaurant seems absolutely ridiculous to me.
And I agree, it's nonsense.
It's bullshit. Second, in case you ever go, be careful. Because, yeah, the waiters told us it's kind of a modus operandi. That the chef comes up to the tables and says, I'll bring the meat over, I'll serve you the meat, let me choose whatever, and in the end, they stick you with it. In this case, the chef tells you in a way that makes it seem like he's going to give you some dishes for free. And those dishes that they're supposedly going to give you, they end up charging you 17,000 pesos, 18,000 pesos for a piece of meat.
Watch out for that detail. It's not a minor issue. Be very careful because the chef comes to your table and tells you, no. Look, I think what he actually told them was, I think the chef told them, I choose the meat. Right? Honestly, I think Salve told them, I choose the meat. You choose the drinks, but he probably said it in such a way that the people at the table understood that he said, I choose, I'm treating you to the meat. Incredible.
You guys be ready. If you're from here in Mexico City, you go to the Nusr-Et restaurant, the one with the chef who does this. If they come up to your table and offer you dishes that seem free, don't accept them. Tell them to get lost.
And watch out, another very important detail, obviously he's going to choose the dishes because he's going to pick the best ones, he's going to pick the most expensive ones. He's definitely not going to let you order that cheap little burger, for God's sake. Cheap in quotes because it's actually expensive.
Because they're going to rip you off and you won't leave happy. Well, to each their own, right? No, I don't judge. Anyway, kisses.
Incredible, I mean, just imagine. And this escalated, it became a viral scandal in Mexico. When the chef had just opened his restaurant, I mean, it hadn't been long since he opened this restaurant in Mexico City. And obviously, the guy, even during the celebrations at the World Cup, the chef was there with the Mexicans celebrating that Mexico had won against the Czech Republic and blah blah, also against South Korea. I mean, the chef was there inserting himself because that's how he operates. I mean, we saw it with the Argentina thing, right? He doesn't care about Mexico. It doesn't matter to him if Mexico wins or loses. He couldn't care less. He couldn't care less. Same thing with Argentina. If France had won, he would have taken those pictures with Mbappe. We all know it's true. But since Argentina won, he went with the Argentinians. Here with Di Maria, he was with Messi, bothering them at a beautiful moment when the players were spending time with their families, with their loved ones. This guy went there to sneak in. Well, he did exactly the same thing in Mexico so that Mexicans would say, this guy loves us, he adores us. And that's how he started promoting his restaurant, which started off very well. On his first day, I understand he had more than 1,000 people. I mean, the restaurant's first day was a total success, but yeah, it already started with controversies. And this got to the point that, please pay attention, Chef Salve already contacted Aldo de Nigris after the controversy.
Oh. Hey, well, the chef sent me a message, man.
The chef sent him a message on Instagram. I mean, just imagine, you're a random, regular Spanish-speaking influencer and suddenly Salve writes to you. But he doesn't just write to you, he calls you because that's what he did. He called him, look, or he dialed him, dude, check it out, man. But no, yeah, man. Let's see.
These are messages. Let's make sure no girls show up. I don't know.
No. Ha 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 ha.
Look, dude.
Just look at that. It's this guy. He called me, dude. I'm opening it. Look, you have an audio call. What? I'm opening it live. Look. Incredible. Audio call 10:37 in the morning, 10:39 in the morning. I mean, missed call. He called him a couple of times. And here it's 11:45 in the morning. That is a little more than an hour had passed since the very famous chef called this guy. Incredible.
And what should I write? You scammed me, man.
You scammed me.
Tell him what's up, Holmes.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, man.
Good and punishment for you, for your part, without Vaseline.
You left it for me.
Fall with all of it and
Balls.
incredible. This craziness is incredible, guys. But well, we'll see how it ends, how it turns out. I imagine that the chef is going to say, hey, I'll give you your money back. I'll treat you to a free meal at my restaurant. Now let's make peace. Because obviously the guy realized that the situation got out of control. It went super viral in Mexico. And well, that's what happens. So gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this video and I'll see you next time.